Hello, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. So, thanks so much for joining me today. So, I have a couple of card ideas that I want to share with you, which feature the Soft Seedlings stamp set. So, this is the stamp set that I'm going to be using today, and it has a very large leaf image in it that I'll be using for pretty much all the cards. But I'm going to show you a couple different ways to use this leaf image, a couple different, I guess, coloring techniques. So I'll show you just how to create the basic design with a variety of different colors, and then I'll show you how to add some different colors to the leaf itself on the stamp before we actually stamp it. So these are the cards that I'm going to share with you today. And one of the cards actually was inspired by my friend Linda Anderson. So she sent me, I'll show you. She sent me this beautiful card. So I decided to case her card, and I did it a little bit differently with different supplies. But I'm going to show you that today too. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. You were just looking for me. Oh, I think I'm on right on time, right? I think so. So anyways, so these are the cards we're going to do today. So let me make this screen a little bit bigger so you guys can see the cards. So, like I said, we're going to focus on the majority of the cards I have here. We're going to focus on this one particular technique, but I thought I would also show you that you could do obviously other things with this particular stamp set than just this one coloring technique that I'm going to share with you. So let me start. We're going to start with this one because basically what I did with this one is just used a variety of different colors to stamp the image. So that's just a very simple way that you can use the large image in this stamp set. So I'm going to start out with I have a scrap piece of paper behind here, but this is just a 2 by 5.5 inch piece of white cardstock. And so I'm really just going to stamp a variety of different colors. So we'll start with the crushed curry, and we will add that first. So I'm going to do that up at the top. And you can do this with any size piece of paper. I just happen to choose this particular size because it worked well with my card design. So we'll just add that one at the top, and then I think I'll add the other one right away. Hopefully I'll give myself enough room. You never know. So let's add it just about here. So the stamp has just a variety of detail in it. Whoops, hold on here, I'm cleaning my stamp, which gives it, gives it all that little detail. So you don't have to, the stamp does everything. You don't have to add any of that detail. So I love the detailed stamps that we have. So the next one, let's try some of this old olive. And I think I did the stamp off technique for this one because my stamp was a little bit juicy. So let me see here. Yeah, I think that's what I did. If not, we'll get a different look here. So we'll add that. So basically I just inked up my image and then I stamped it off on the scrap piece of paper and then stamped it onto my design. Don't mind me, I have to clean this stamp in between, in between each little image here. So now I'm going to add some pumpkin pie. So we'll add this one right over in here. Sneak it in here somehow. There we go. Okay, so that's the basic design for this little piece. So you just kind of stamp all the way down. And then I just added a piece of early espresso behind it just to kind of mat it out. So the piece I'm adding behind is just 2¼ by 5½ inches. So we'll just add that right away. So it's a pretty simple card design. And if you don't have this stamp set, you can do this, use this design with pretty much any stamp set that you have. Whether you have the large images or smaller images, you can create just a little strip like this that's pretty colorful. So I am just going to trim this off a little bit here. I have just a little extra, so we'll just trim that off. So the other thing I did with this is in the background, I used my crumb cake cardstock. So I have crumb cake cardstock for the base of my card. Let's make sure I got it the right way. And what I did is just stamped this image in the background using the crumb cake cardstock. So I used a variety of different colors on this one to achieve this particular look. So we will start up at the top and we'll just add this one up here. Isn't that cool? You just get such a cool design with this particular image. And we'll add this one here. And I'm just going to go all the way around, even though you can't really see the image as much because of this strip we're putting in there. But that's okay. You can see it enough. See it enough that we need something in there. And then this one, we will go down here. Okay, so let me put this to the side. So that's the background for the card. And then I just took that strip that I already stamped here, and we can turn it around because I have a little bit of white space here. So I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to just add it right to my card front. I can get my glue to work. So this one's just going to go right down, kind of off center. So we'll add that. Whoop. And then I just did a little bit of heat embossing on a piece of early espresso cardstock. So this is just one of the greetings from this particular set. So I'm just going to pop that up with a couple dimensionals. And then you can really embellish it any way you want to. So for this particular card, I just added some of those little rustic elements and just a little bit of twine to decorate this card. And I don't know, did I decorate the inside? Oh, I did decorate the inside. I got a little crazy on the inside. Stamped a bunch of different leaves on the inside. But that's how you create that card. So it's a pretty simple design. And of course, it's a fun way to use this particular image is just to stamp it in a variety of different colors. So that's the first one that I wanted to show you. Now the second one, let's grab that here. This is the second one. And so this one, you can see that I have a variety of different colors in the leaf itself. So instead of stamping, the image using all different colors, I stamped one image and I added a variety of colors to that image. So let me clean off my image here. And I will tell you how big my pieces are. So this one is 3¼ by 4¼ inches. So 3¼ 4¼ just a piece of white cardstock. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just move this out of the way. The first thing I'm going to do is just ink up this image with my yellow. So you want to ink up the image with the lighter color. So in this case, it's my yellow. my crushed curry. So we'll ink that up. And then I'm going to use some pumpkin pie and some old olive. And I'm just going to use a couple daubers to add some color. So I'll start with the pumpkin pie, and basically, let's see if I can get this in here so you can see it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around to various parts of this leaf and just add a little bit of pumpkin pie. And of course it's not that easy to tell that I added the pumpkin. And now I'm going to just add a little bit of old olive kind of on the edges of this particular image. And then we'll add some down here. And I'm going to move this out of the way. And then we'll stamp the image. And we'll stamp it kind of towards the top. And then it gives you all those different colors in your image. So it's a pretty cool technique, and it's very easy to do. And each time you do it, you're going to get a little different look. So, obviously it depends on where you add, your different colors. So now for this card, all I did was mat out that image with a piece of Cajun Craze cardstock. So the white piece was 3¼ by 4¼ So this piece is 3½ by 4½. So I'm just going to add this. And then I'm still using the crumb cake for the base of my card. So I'm going to put this right on the base of my card here. Yeah, it really is a beautiful stamp set. And then I just have, let's see, this is 3¼ by 4¼ So this is just a piece of designer paper. This is that Rustic Harvest designer paper. So I think I'm going to go up a little bit with this one. So I'm just going to add this right across the center. Not the center. Well, maybe I will go down because I got to put my greeting on there. So we'll add this across the bottom, not across the center, across the bottom. And then I did a little bit of heat embossing again with my greeting. So this time I did it on some black cardstock just to kind of coordinate with the designer paper. And this one's going to go right in the center like that. And then I just added some little matte dots, so I might as well put those on right away here. So I used these little black matte dots and just added, just a little bit of embellishment here on the top. So that's the basic design for this one. And I think I added some leftover scraps on the inside. So just really a very simple card, but it just turns out so pretty because of all the different colors that you added directly to the stamped image. So, all right, so we'll put that one to the side. And then this next one is just another, we're going to do the exact same thing with the leaf, except for this time we're going to add it to a little circle shape. And it's just another card idea for you, another layout design for using this particular stamp set, or like I said, or any stamp set actually. You can put any focal point you want on this circle shape. It does not have to be this leaf. It could be anything. It could be a pumpkin. If you want to make a Christmas card, then change out all the papers to Christmas. So just because I'm showing you some fall themed cards. I'll put these up here. Doesn't mean you have to make fall themed with this particular design. So I'm again going to ink up this image with my yellow. So we'll add the yellow. And then we'll again add our pumpkin pie in a variety of places. And then we'll add our old olive. Just add it to the outside and down here. Suddenly my space got smaller. Okay. And then now we'll just stamp it on this little circle shape. I can get it on there. Now you can also just stamp your image on a scrap piece of white cardstock and then just cut out your shape, you know, if you don't want to stamp directly on the circle shape. All right, so the next thing I did is just cut out a scallop circle. So I used the layering circle dies to create that scallop circle. And I use this stylish shapes dies to create this stitched white circle. So both of those die sets layer nicely together, but you don't need the stitched one. I just prefer the stitching on my cards. But you can use just the layering circle dies to create this. So that will be our focal point. And then what I did is just kind of used up I had some scrap pieces. So that's how I came up with this design. So I just kind of used some scrap pieces. So we'll start on the left side and we'll adhere this first piece, which is just 1 by 4.5. So all the pieces are 4.5 inches long. And this one happens to be 1 inch wide. So we'll add that. And then I think I keep telling you guys that this is only an 1/8 inch wide, but this is a 1/4 inch wide. I don't know why I have an 1/8 inch stuck in my brain. But if you ever see these little pieces on my card, they're actually a 1/4 inch, not an eighth. So this is a 1/4 inch by 4.5. And then this one is 3 by 4.5. So these pieces of designer paper come from that Rustic Harvest, I think is what it's called. And so we'll just add that right across. So it just kind of gives you a fun little design. And now you can add your focal point, which of course in this case is our leaf. So this is a 3 by 3.25 inch piece of vellum, because you guys know how much I love to use my vellum lately. So I'm going to add that just to the center, just to kind of mute out the background a little bit. And then here's our little focal point. So we'll pop that up. And whoops. Okay, there we go. So we'll add that right in the center. And then, of course, I kind of stuck with heat embossing for most of these. I think the last one is not heat embossed. But this piece is just, let's see, 3.5 inches long, and it's about 3/4 inches wide. So this is just going to go right across the card like that. So I'm going to actually, well, I'm just going to add some dimensionals on the end. And then we'll add this across. So again, this is a pretty simple layout. Actually, all of these are very simple layouts that you can use really with any supplies that you have on hand. So let's go right about there. And then we'll add some of these rustic metallic dots. And then once I get this on here, you can see it's kind of pulling up a little bit on the side where the vellum is. You can just add a little bit of glue right underneath this section here. I don't like to add a lot of glue initially because the glue kind of seeps out and you can see it underneath the vellum. So I add a little bit of glue and then I kind of go back and just add a little bit more glue under the spots where like my greeting is and things like that. All right, so that's the basic design for this one. And on the inside, I just used up some scrap pieces of designer paper just to kind of decorate the inside. All right, so that is card number 3. I really like that one. Well, I really like them all. And then this last card idea is the one that I borrowed from my friend Linda. So this is based on the card that she sent me. So this was her card. And she did her coloring. Looks like to me she sponged like I inked mine up with the yellow ink. Looks like she just did all her sponging individually. So there's a variety of different ways that you can add color to your image. But for this one, we're going to do it the same way because I like that way. So we're going to do it the same way. Now I got to find my little circle shape here. Here we go. So I'm going to ink it up with my yellow ink. And then I'm going to add some pumpkin pie with a little dauber. So we'll add that. And we'll give it a little bit more up there. So let me close these before I end up with ink all over myself here. Now I'm going to add the old olive again, just kind of around the edges. Can add a little bit in the middle, I guess. We'll add some down here. And even though I'm only using part of this image, I just kind of ink up the whole thing just to make sure I don't miss anything. Because obviously this whole image is not going to be able to fit on this little circle shape. So let's go right about there. This one seems like I added quite a bit. I did. But that's okay. It looks good. All right. So now for this one, same kind of concept. I'm taking my little circle shape and I'm adding it to a scallop circle. Oops. So this is going to be the focal point. Okay. So that's our little focal point. And then the basic design, I started with the crumb cake cardstock. And then I took a 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece of white cardstock. And I just embossed it with that paint texture embossing folder. Linda used something different, but I used the paint texture one. And then I cut a couple of pieces of designer paper. So they are both 2 inches wide, I believe. So they're 2 inches, and this one is 2 by 4.5. So 2 by 4.5. And then this one is 2 by 3 1/4. And so they're just kind of offset a little bit. So I'll add those. And again, you can use any pattern paper because I just showed you Linda's card. So she used different pattern paper. Same focal point she used. Or I should say I'm using. Same focal point that she used, I'm using. And we'll add this one. And then we'll add a piece of vellum right down the center. And so the vellum is, I think I made mine a little bit bigger than hers, 2 1/4 by 4. My vellum piece is a little bit bigger. I think hers is 2 by 4. Mine is 2 1/4. We'll add that. And then we'll pop our little focal point up. So let's add some dimensionals. Maybe we can add some dimensionals if I can get them off. Uh, there we go. So we can pop that up. And then our greeting is just going to be a 4-inch long piece of crumb cake cardstock. And then it's about 3/4 inch wide. And that's just going to go straight across here, kind of on the bottom. So I am going to add a dimensional right in the center here. We'll add one right there. And then I'll add some dimensionals to my other piece. So I added it to the end, and I added one in the center here, just to give it a little bit of support. And then this will just go right across the bottom. And then you can embellish it with, in this case, I use some of those rustic dots again to do some embellishing, and then more designer paper on the inside. But you can also stamp, like I showed you before, you can stamp this image on the inside. That would be really pretty right off the corner, before you adhere your white piece to the inside. So just some fun ways to use this particular stamp set. I'm going to bring all the cards back here so you guys can see them. So here they all are. Oop, let's get them in screen so you can see them. Oh, you just got the stamp set. Oh, good. You're going to love the stamp set. It really is a great set to play with. So let's see if I can come back on screen if I can find it. There we go. All right. Hey. So those are the cards that I wanted to share with you. I just really love creating fall themed cards or autumn themed cards. So this stamp set was one of the stamp sets that was top on my list. So if you missed it, this is the stamp set that I used to create these cards with this leaf, and it has some really great sayings in it for card making. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas. I had a lot of fun creating them. I will get the blog post up so it'll have all the measurements for you. So if you want to recreate these cards with this particular stamp set, or if you want to use these card layouts with any supplies that you have on hand, you can certainly do that. So you don't have to just limit yourself to just using the Soft Seedling stamp set. So, and I also wanted to mention to you guys, I'm hosting another holiday card making extravaganza. So it's going to be online. It'll be in a private Facebook group. I am going to be featuring this stamp set again in that particular event. So it's 100% online. You guys can get all the details. I did provide the link in the description with this video, so you can get all the details, but I'll show you a couple other techniques. I know Linda and Beth, who I am doing the event with, they also have a variety of cards and different things to share with you. So it's going to be all holiday cards. And you'll be able to use the layouts to create whatever kind of cards you want. But we're going to feature a variety of different holiday cards just to give you some inspiration. So I hope you guys will join us for that. The event is this month. It is on a Sunday. So I'll actually be doing my Sunday morning live, and then I'll be heading over to that event to do more lives. So I hope you guys can join us. It's a lot of fun. We give away a lot of prizes. We have lots of card making ideas, 6 different sessions actually, with just a variety of different cards in each session. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a great week and a wonderful day. And I will see you guys again next week. So take care, everybody.